Today I'm going to share with you my spiritual awakening journey, how it went, when it started, and what happened through it. My spiritual awakening journey started actually sometime back in 2009. And during that time I was at school, and at the time my mother fell sick. So we started facing issues with financial assistance. The finances kind of became less, and that is something that I'd never experienced, being chased from home and rather being chased from school because of school fees was something that I'd rarely experienced, coming from a very distant place. It was like a very huge toll on my life. So when I started thinking about life, I was like, no, I should really work hard because I don't want this to happen. Then the biggest trigger comes when my mother dies. Before we lost her, she fell sick and she was admitted in the hospital. And during that time, I had to drop out of school to take care of her in the hospital because no one would do that. And I had to give up my school to take care of her. My sister had kids. I had to take over the responsibility. And I kind of watched her go through all the pain. Being a very sensitive person, I kind of took her pain and made it my own. And I had to deal with that as well. Time goes by, the Lord calls her home, and of course we lose her. To some extent, it was like a relief to us, and more so like to me, because I had taken up her pain. I was the one carrying her pain. I felt like I was carrying her pain. It was so painful, and she passed on in pain, and I was like, I think that is better than her living in pain. Well, of course, after the burial, we go to the village, we bury her, and it's immediately after the burial that things start exploding. Now, you're starting to think about life. What next? After mom is gone. And that is the time when I felt like I had lost part of me. I felt like a half of me was gone because the world changed, everything around me changed, and I remember at some point I stood and I felt like I was very, very, very naked. And I wanted life to go on. I really wanted to be a good person. Now I start thinking of ways to better my life. That's when you realize that there are true friends, true family members. Some people showed their true characters. Then you're like, oh, so these people probably were in my life because of mom's presence. Or these people were here because of mom. I had to deal with that as well. As just 20 years old, didn't know what to do. But again, life had to move on. It was a very tough time for me. I had to start over. No job, no school. My friends were going to school. And I'm at home, they're calling you, they're like, oh, Jackie, when are you coming? It was really, it was hard even explaining to friends. And I could not tell any person of like the pain I'd gone through, the pain I had accumulated from my mother's life, from her, during that time of her bed rest, that pain, and then something really huge happened. It happens that when my mom during her last days of dying. I could see her stomach has gone back. She needs to have something in her stomach, but there's nothing. You go to the doctors, they're like, no, stop, it's okay, don't give her the medicine, don't give her the food. They probably knew that she was gonna die. I didn't know. So I'm going to them and telling them, food is not going, my mom's food is not like flowing. And they're like, no, it's okay, just let her be. That alone sunk deep into me, because I was like, she's getting hungry, she's not eating, and she stayed like that in in that state for like 2 to 3 days. So on the day of the very day night she died, I was by her side. I saw her die, and that kind of hit me hard. And how she died is that that night, when before the morning that she died, this is what happened. So when we went to bed, it was a little bit hot and she was sweating. So during that time, I was like, okay, since mom is sweating, let me not cover her. I will cover her later when it becomes like cooler, when it cools down, when the temperatures cool down. So I also sleep beside her, and then at around like 2:15 around there, I wake up feeling cold, and then I remember I did not cover mom. She might be feeling cold as well. Waking up, she's still sweating. I'm like, oh, okay, let me sleep a little bit, and then I will cover her again. At around 3:15, I just get that thing, that voice telling me, mom is dead. And I wake up and it's like, no. So on waking up, I really find her dead. She was gone. That was the most painful part of it. I called her. I was like, mom, mom, mom. She wasn't listening. Prior to that, the second last time I first woke up to see that, to cover her, I kind of smiled to her and I gave her a kiss. So I didn't know that that was the last kiss and the last look I was having from my mom. So she dies, and I get a running stomach. I run to the doctor. I'm like, doctor, mom is dead. That experienced. It's my first time actually seeing someone die in my hands. It was very hard to handle. But of course, I ran to them. I say, my mom has died. They're like, no, it's okay, calm down. And then I ran to my sister. She was the other side of the ward. I tell her, sister, mom has died. She screams. To be how my brain interprets this message is this way. I'm the one who killed my mom. And how does it interpret it? Because I woke up and found her sweating, decided not to cover her. I felt like if I had covered her that time, probably she wouldn't have died. And that has been ruminating in my thoughts forever. It kind of sunk deep into me that it guilt-tripped me for the longest time. So every time I would remember of her death, I would say, that small voice would say, you killed your mother. I'd never share this with the world. It's the first time I'm sharing it with, and I believe it's the work of God that is doing in my life. Because first of all, I don't even have the powers to take someone's life, yeah? But that's what the devil does. He pumps you with a lot of information that tries to bring you down as a person, that even when you try to strive hard in life, he makes sure that you are guilt-tripped. He brings back that that shame that makes you feel like, oh, you're not worth of a person to, stand in front of people, to, start a business, to go back to school, to start a family, to get married, to, save up money to do something that is really, to do something that is, that develops you. And he wants you in that state until your last days. And this makes you feel like probably you are cursed, makes you feel like you are not what God made you to be. So now I start the new life, life without mom, life without my biological dad, and then life with people who are now trying to show their true colors. Life without money, life without school. I would say life without opportunity. All I'm left with is God and hope, and the hope that needs to be nurtured somehow, somewhere. No one was to give the hope, but I clinged on to God. Of course, life was hard, staying all home, and I remember I was introduced to a job that I didn't like. Actually, it was working in a bar, something that I'd never thought of in my life, my entire life. But I just worked there, I think, for 3 days, and I was like, that's not, that's changing who Jackie is. And of course, life has to move on. Demands are there, I need to, look good, we need to eat. Now I need help. My dad at work. I became a good girl. I became a good child, like I was always. And of course, you start hustling, like serious hustle now. Luckily, I get a job. I was deposited somewhere, and I start working. Now life starts, making sense. Now I start dealing with the wounds that I had got, from as I was a child, and from as I was, growing up. And then when I saw mom go through that pain, I'm starting to deal with that pain. And somehow, somewhere, of course, it was also trying to change the real person I was. Now the shame and the guilt that I got from mom's death experience was now starting to build up, and I had to deal with that. Remember, I had not told anyone. It kind of sunk deep into me that it was something I dealt with every other day of my life. That's how hard life was. And trying to also make life move on. The body is also demanding, and you're trying to probably not make the mistakes that you made in your previous life. Meeting some other people that were really not nice, but trying to deal with the issues that invited those people in your life. You're probably like, okay, so this person has come. How are you gonna deal with them? You don't want to lose them. You want to keep them close to you, but again, you want to do it in a nice way, which you don't know. No one is to tell you, because you're even not sharing it with another person. And then, of course, some people come with their hidden intentions, and all that you have to deal with them. By the time you realize that, that person is not nice, he's not good, you try to run away from them. And then at some point I had to go back to school, and during this time of school I was paying for my own tuition. Life was hard, but listen up, guys. If if you always ask for God to help you, He will always help you throughout life. So of course I go back to school, and I'm paying for my own tuition. I'd lost actually the job, even the business I was doing had collapsed, and even at school I was actually for the first few months I was staying with my friends who were very kind to host me in their room, because I explained to them, I told them, you know what, I've come to school, but I don't have money to pay for a hostel. I don't have hostel fee. Can I just stay in your house? Luckily, they gave me the chance, the opportunity. I stayed with them, and of course, at some point, they also needed their privacy. And same to me, I had to take over, to go look for my own place. And all that while I'm dressed up in all this, smile and, that shining face to just mask. I'd actually worn that mask that no one would know the pain. But again, at some point, God sends me an angel, a guardian angel. Someone comes to me and says, Jackie, you know what? I heard of your story. I want to help you. Little did I know that they had their own intentions. Of course, they come and help me pay tuition. Oh, I'm like, yay, God, thank you. You've sent someone to help me. The person had their own hidden intentions. That's another pain, that is being inflicted on me, and I had to deal with that as well. So this person, of course, pays the tuition, and then as time goes by, they start asking for, talking things that are contrary to what we had planned or how they came. It was very different. That kind of shook me. I was like, oh, okay, this is something that I wasn't expecting, and of course I had to deal with it. I asked myself, why would someone come? Because at some point they were asking me to do things that I have never done, things that were really not respectable even to them, because they came in a picture of a parent, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a parent. I mean, he has a parent heart, and I'm being saved. And then at some point they start talking things that are not pleasing, and now I start looking for ways to run away. Remember, I had piled up the other shame. This is another shame. I'm like, okay. So time goes by. I ask God to, do something, and at some point they stop. They come to me and they're like, Jackie, okay, it's this and this. I'm no longer paying your tuition, and that is it. Of course, somehow I was happy, because that burden of, asking me to do things that I didn't want to do was gone. But again, of course, it affected my finances, because in the very beginning, I had thought that they were heaven sent to, help me with that load of paying tuition, and now I'm left in a place where I didn't plan for. But again, at least my mind was free. I had to juggle through it, and yes, I finished. And but still, the impact they left on my heart as a person wasn't gone. I had to still deal with that as well. And I leave school, and of course, at some point, you meet them somewhere, and the story kind of flips over, and things change. You're like, oh well, this is part of life. You think that part of life is gone, but no, another one comes in. Of course, I had to still deal with not finding a job quickly, but luckily enough, after a few months, I got another job, and I think somehow, somewhere, I also lagged behind, and didn't really keep that focus on what I really wanted. I entered into another relationship, which I think was also part of it, I believe. But yes, it took a whole toll on me. Like, my entire life changed, and this is another phase of my life where I felt like, well, maybe that is how my life was meant to be. I think I was meant to live in this life of suffering, in this life of struggle, and not until I was like, no. And then, of course, going back also, I used to get dreams of myself like really working hard through life, and I didn't know what that meant to me. I would get dreams of me finding hard to like maybe go into a place or even start something, and these dreams would come in different phases, but at least they carry the same meaning, the same, like they carry the same theme. I'm struggling through life, not until some point I was like, you know what, I think I should give up. That's what I said. But again, looking further into me, inside me, giving that, deep self-introspection, I felt like I still had the hope, I still was a good person, because my intention on doing things, even people that I hurt, my intentions were not bad. Some of the things I was doing out of ignorance, and that is what exactly I needed to know. So I was tired after even the relationship seeming like it was not working. I felt like I was tired, both emotionally, physically, and like every bit of me was tired. Listen, I had to look for the answer. Well, if my parents had, brought me up in a life where we believed in shrines or believed in African magic, I would have tried that. But we were brought up where we only knew our parents and God. We knew like the direct way of doing things. And I believed in that one source, who is God. Because I remember during the Sunday school days, we were told by our Sunday school teacher that we have this person called God. If you want him to give you something, you ask and he gives it to you. If you want him to do something for you, you do ask and he gives it to you. And if you want forgiveness, you just have to ask him and he does. That is what I remembered. Yes, I went on my knees, I cried. I said, God, what should I do? I found myself being put in a state of isolation, a state where I had to lose my friends, I had to lose my family members, I had to lose part of me, even I lost the relationship. And that is the time, another time I was like, I surrender, but again, I was surrendering it to God. I asked him, what can I do? I felt I was emotionally exhausted. My energy was gone. Everything was gone. And then he answers my prayer. He brings to me the people that I needed, the people who were ready to pray with me, the people who were ready to pay bills that I couldn't pay, the people who were ready to listen to me. I thought at some point maybe I need a therapist, and I said, God, if it's a therapist that I need, if it's a counselor that I need, please send them to me. He brings all these guardian angels to help me, explain everything, and even opens me to information sources that are actually free. And they were meant actually to be part of my spiritual awakening. He sends me to the bookstore to buy books on things. These are intentional things now. I buy books intended to help me understand what exactly the problem was, and I now decide to give my life to Jesus Christ. And everything changed. The joy started coming back, the finances started coming back, the peace of mind, that is the most profound thing, the peace of mind started coming back. I started getting friends who meant a lot to me, actually even more than the friends I had lost. Not that the ones I lost were bad, nope. They had played their role in my life, and that was, that time probably even me in their life, and I just needed to elevate to another level where I wanted God to use me more. So I give my life to Jesus Christ. The confidence comes back. He takes away the guilt and shame. He takes away all the pain. I heal, and then at some point I kind of start getting the feeling of wanting to serve God, to do more of God, to sharing my life journey to inspire someone. So this is to just encourage one of you who is there. I'm sure you are there, sat with this pain on you, with this guilt on you, trying to ask yourself, what's the problem? Am I cursed? Am I supposed to even to look like this? Probably even when you look in your family lineage, you are just like, you are the only one like holding the hope of everyone. You are the only one that everyone is looking up to. You don't know any person to help you. But listen, I did give my life to Jesus Christ, and He helped me. You can do it too. He will help you. Stay blessed. Thank you. Peace.